Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about habits and how learning how to change your habits can help you with effective long-term weight loss. Studies now show that up to 40% of our activities and our actions are automatic, meaning that we're not really thinking about what we are doing at the time that we're doing them, or rather we're not being quite intentional at that time. For example, you can back out of your driveway while talking to somebody who's seated right next to you without actually thinking of every single action. So when we are trying to lose weight, it's important for us to think about the habits that we want to either incorporate into our lifestyle now, or most importantly, the habits that we need to stop in order to make our weight loss journey successful. So different things that affect our weight are things like, or habits like binge eating. That's a habit. It is a disorder. Sometimes it needs professional help. But other things like cravings, when you truly crave something, how did it come about that you started craving in the first place? So let's look at what constitutes habit and how habits come about. Habits come about because there's always some kind of trigger. Something will trigger you to want something because when you get that something, then you have a pleasurable feeling. Our brains are created in a way to protect us, to make us feel good, especially when we are stressed. And so if you feed a habit loop and at a certain point your brain has mastered that reward, then you get to perform that same action each time that there's that specific trigger. Let me give you an example of something that happens to me. I work in the emergency room. I tend to get awfully tired and sleepy somewhere around midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Those are the real tough times for me. And during that time, I tend to want to grab something and eat to get some energy to stay awake, something. And so with time, I recognized that this was really working against my weight. So I started to put some measures in there. I cannot take away the midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. hour. So I put my measure in by bringing my own food. I usually bring some celery sticks, some carrot sticks, which I don't like, by the way, but they are there to protect me. Sometimes I'll just get up and drink coffee. I have learned to not put the creamer with sugar into my coffee because that, of course, again, I don't want that sugar in my body. So my point for today's video is that if you want to lose weight, think about the habits that we want to change, or if we want to eliminate from our lifestyle. Every habit has specific components. There's always a trigger. That's the first part. There's a trigger, and then there's a specific action, and then there's a reward. In order to change the habit, you want to change, number one, the reward. Now, if you've had cravings, you know that you cannot fight a craving. If you feel like eating something, it just seems like it overcomes you, because there is a part of the brain that remembers that pleasurable feeling that you had when you maybe consumed something. It has learned it now. And so when you get the feeling, that reward system kicks in big time, so you have difficulty fighting it. One of the best ways to break this habit cycle is to think about the different components of the habits that you want to change. Again, there will be a trigger, and then there'll be some action, and then there will be a reward. One of the biggest ways that our brains work and the brain remembers is that these rewards and these pleasurable feelings are engraved in there so that they want to make you do something so that you can trigger that good feeling again. So if you want to start a new habit, attach to it a good reward. something that would be pleasurable. I always give myself some kind of non-food reward for my weight loss goals for when I hit them. So let's say if I did well all week, I'll go out there, just me, and get a piece of jewelry, anything. Sometimes if I've done really well, like I hit a big goal when I lost 50 pounds, I took a trip out of the country. So I was looking forward to that. My brain kind of thinks about this reward. Now let's bring it down to daily life, daily things, what you can do daily. You know that you're trying to exercise. When you actually get up and exercise, think about it and give yourself a pat on the back and say, okay, wow, I did this. I did such a phenomenal job. I did well. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I worked out with her in boot camp. Let's say you want to stop eating sweets or you want to stop eating junk food and things like that. Think about the components of a habit. There is always a trigger, and then there's some activity, and then the reward. You know, or your brain knows that, okay, if I go out there and I eat a plate of cake from the refrigerator, it's gonna make me feel good. To break this loop at this time, what I'm going to do is take the cake away from the fridge. Actually, I will take it completely away from my home so it's not there. So now the habit loop is broken. Let's say I sit here and I get a huge craving. Okay, how about that chocolate cake? I go to my refrigerator, it's not there. The loop is broken. There's nothing to think about. So if you keep going to the refrigerator and that pleasurable food, that sweet food or whatever it is not there, then you now start to scramble that habit loop that you have formed. And you do that enough for weeks and weeks and weeks. You get to a point where your body is no longer going to seek this cake that you have in the refrigerator because it knows it's not there. In order to break a habit, think about the components of that habit. You can make your reward strong. You can add something that will really make you feel good. With weight loss, of course, you get awfully motivated when you see the pounds coming down. You get motivated when you see that, yes, I agree. But what if the pounds are not coming down? Find something. For me, it's a new outfit. I do want to put on that outfit. That's one of the things that motivates me to work out. Put on a new outfit, go exercise. When you come back, attach some good feelings to your effort for that day. When you do that over and over and over, you now develop a habit of exercising all the time because your brain already knows you're going to feel so excited after you exercise that it's wanting to take you to exercise. That's how you get consistent. If your brain knows that, okay, she sits here, she's tired. Every time she sits here, she's tired. I'm going to make her go into the refrigerator and get something to eat. Guess what? Even for my patients in the clinic, I tell them, stop sitting on this favorite spot on your couch, because once you sit there, your brain remembers that pleasurable thing that you got from the refrigerator. So change your spot. Switch places with your husband. You can sit over there, he sits here, so that that trigger is not there. You've unscrambled that habit. One last thing that I encourage you to remember is that it takes time to learn and master any new habit. It will take time. So for everybody it's different. I don't believe that it takes 3 weeks to break an old habit and 3 weeks to acquire a new habit. There's no timeline. Just because the habits are so different, our feelings are so different, our rewards are so different. What I know is that you want to be patient with yourself. I used to have a habit of waking up at night, going into my refrigerator, pulling out the watermelon and ice cream, mixing them together, eating that, and going to bed. No wonder I used to be over 300 pounds. When I figured out that I wait, and don't judge me because a lot of people eat at night, okay? I stopped that. The reason why I stopped that is because I stopped purchasing watermelon. For the past 4 years, I do not buy watermelon. I buy ice cream, 1 serving of ice cream each for my children when they want it. I do not keep ice cream in my refrigerator. Why? Because I had to break that habit loop. I know that my body will always try to take me to my heaviest weight. Always, for the rest of my life. My heaviest weight was just over 300 pounds, so I do not want to go back there. That's why I broke that habit of eating ice cream at night. How? By taking away the ice cream from my house. In fact, I do not purchase it for myself, just for those who live with me, and they only get one serving, so there are no leftovers in my refrigerator. I encourage you, if you want to be successful with your journey, think about your habits and put some intention into figuring out your triggers, your rewards, and your actions. I have a boot camp online, a 3-week boot camp where I have different people who sign up, and we still talk about the same things: habits and cravings and overeating. All of these behaviors will cause us to gain weight, and they can also sabotage our efforts when we're really trying hard in getting healthy and staying healthy, losing weight and keeping it off long term. So I hope this information helps you. If it does, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and also hit the notification bell. And lastly, share it with the people you know so that they can benefit from this information as well. I wish you all the best in your health and wellness journey. Thank you.